Hello and welcome back. I'm delighted that you're able to join me here. It's very, very important what you're doing right now in taking time out of your schedule, whatever that looks like, whether your day is a typically busy day in 21st century life, or whether it's not. You're here paying attention to your spiritual practice. You're putting in the dedication and commitment to that. You're demonstrating your interest in that. And there is a lot out there. There are a lot of channels out there. There are a lot of videos out there. There is a huge, huge amount of content available for your rapt consumption on the internet, not to mention in print media. And here you are. So that says quite a lot to me. It's very important. So I thank you for this dedication and commitment to your practice, which, by the way, you will have heard me say this before if you've watched these videos before. That's the highest and best form of offering you could ever give anyone, anywhere, anytime. There is nothing that even remotely approximates the value of your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice. So for that, I thank you, truly. Let's spend the next few minutes today taking a look at something that a lot of people talk about. They do. They talk about the present moment. They talk about meditation. They talk about mindfulness, mindful awareness. It goes by a number of different names. But the importance of the present moment is something that draws our attention, doesn't it? Yet, it's not often that we pause to ask why. Why are people talking about this? Why are people talking about the now? Be in the now, dude. Why are people saying that? Why is it important? And let's take a look at this question from the standpoint of the study and practice of A Course in Miracles. What else? That's what this video series is about. So, in taking a look at this idea, there are, of course, many different spiritual traditions that talk about meditation or mindfulness or mindful awareness. Buddhism is just one of them. And some of you may have had extensive experience with Eastern philosophy, with some of the Eastern traditions like Buddhism. I have in this lifetime. And maybe some of you have too. Right, that's just one of many that talks about the present moment and values it. Here's why this is important for any spiritual student, whether you're a student of this course or not. We don't value the present moment. In fact, we don't actually find ourselves living in the present moment in our daily lives. What do I mean by that? It means we're never present. Flattering, right? Not intended to be. It's not flattering. Yet here we appear, emphasis on appear, to find ourselves. Think about it. We spend almost all of our time anywhere but the present moment. We spend our time contemplating things that happened in the past and often beating ourselves up for what we did or did not do in a given past situation, which we would readily admit is gone. And it is gone. Yet we don't live our lives as though it were gone because we dwell on it constantly. often berating ourselves. That and or we live in the future, wondering what's going to happen tomorrow, planning for an event that is not here. Tomorrow's sales meeting is not here. This afternoon's commute is not here. The flight that you're going to catch next Tuesday evening is not here. We would readily admit this in the abstract that it's not here, but we don't live our lives as though that were so. We dwell on future events that may or may not even happen. They may not come to pass. We can't guarantee that they will, but we're finding ourselves in the midst of constructing elaborate plans and or elaborate defenses for if 27 things go wrong, what's our plan? Well, when do we do this? When do we construct plans for the future and rehash the past? Well, we do it right now. So we spend almost all of our lives on events that aren't here. So we are not present. This is the main reason for all of these practices of self-awareness, all of them, from meditation, whether it's a formal seated meditation to a guided meditation to meditations that you may follow on Insight Timer or an app modernly or on YouTube. There are many different ways to do this. There are many different mindfulness practices here in A Course in Miracles. We have the workbook for students and the practice periods that we're invited and encouraged to do every day, as long as we remember to do them. Right? And whenever we remember to do them, there are many different mindfulness practices in the world. The point of all of them is to have us be in the present moment, which is all there is right now. Future's not here. The past is gone. We have right now, yet we don't live our lives as though that were true. So we bring ourselves back to right now. What's so powerful about that? This is where we make a choice. We have a choice here between two items. There is only one choice. There appear to be billions of choices. They're all derivatives of but one choice between exactly two items. These items, these things, are thought systems. One is the thought system of our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit. The other is the thought system of the ego that starts with the standpoint that you are an individual, separate. We have the thought system of truth on the one hand, and separation and illusion on the other, because there is no separation of any kind. So when do we make the choice for truth? Well, we make it now, in the present moment. We don't make it yesterday, and we don't make it 12 days from now. With all of the vagaries of life here in the world, we can't even say with reasonable certainty that this device is going to be around in 12 days, much less in 12 minutes. I mean, really, it's true. We make the choice for God, for the Holy Spirit, for truth, light, love, We make this choice in the present moment. If we're not present, we're not present, and we are not making the choice for love. We're not. So, as often as we remember to do it, we bring our awareness back to the present moment because it's what we have. We can waste it, or we can be here for it. That's a choice that we make. Therefore, it's very important to pay attention to all of these practices, whatever yours looks like. Now, here in the study of the course, we do have an anchor in the workbook for students, which you may or may not be working on right now, and you may or may not have done that. But it's just one example. You can bring your awareness back to the present moment at any time. It's common enough for people to say in the world, I can't meditate. Of course you can. Please. You can. Here's how I know that you can. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to, if you don't have time in your day, you don't have to carve an hour out of what may be a very insanely hectic and busy schedule, full of needless activity and some things that you may need to do, but a lot of them, maybe you don't. But you don't have to carve mass amounts of time out of your day in order to have a very effective meditation, because a very effective meditation practice can be as short as one cycle of breath, which I do hope you have time for. You just did. So what we do here is you can be anywhere. You can be at a boring sales meeting. You could be at work in front of a computer screen, whether you're scrolling Facebook or doing something else, whether you have 27 different windows up or just one. It doesn't make any difference where you are. You can be walking around, anything. We all have the next breath. If we don't, then that's a whole nother subject. But what we do is we simply pay attention to one cycle of breath. And just for those couple of seconds, we pay attention to one inhale and one exhale. We pay attention to the breath, air entering the physical body and exiting the physical body. Just bring our mind to that. And while we're doing it, just let all the thoughts go. I mean, they'll still be there when you get back. The mind never sleeps. It does not sleep. Which kind of explains the randomness of our thoughts, the randomness of our dreams. I mean, we often think, why am I thinking about this? That was October 25th, 1983. Why is that coming up right now? I mean, all kinds of things, random. We just set it aside for a moment and one breath. Now, of course, having completed a one breath meditation, you're cordially invited to meditate for a second breath. And then having completed that, you're invited to sit calmly, coolly, and collectedly for a third. And you get where I'm going with that, but it can be as short as one. We see often throughout the text and the workbook for students, throughout A Course in Miracles, the Holy Spirit needs just a little willingness, just a spark, just a tiny little fraction of a second to rush in and for the spark that is within all of us to become a blazing, blazing light, just a fraction of a second. There's no need to fear this fraction of a second. We bring our awareness back to the present moment so that we may offer this fraction of a second or more. Present moment is where we exercise our power of choice. We could choose to waste this moment, as we have in the past, often, or we wouldn't appear to be here. We can choose to waste it and run and hide and blame and stuff, or we could choose to be present and allow truth to be just as it is, to allow our inner teacher to run the show, to extend love to the Son of God, to forgive the Son of God, and space, time, the ego, the world, yourself for dreaming it, everything. Comprehensively, totally, leaving no stone unturned, no dark corner unlit. Bring everything to the light. All of the drama, and watch it be completely shown away in the light. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness is gone. It's as though it were never there. It's like waking up from a dream that we dream at night. The figures and the events seem real. When we awaken, we recognize that they were not real at all. In fact, they were never there. They were never there. Enlightenment is just like this. That's why it's known as awakening. The importance of being present, the importance of present moment awareness cannot possibly be understated. It's very important. So what your practice may look like can differ from what another person's practice can look like. We do our forgiveness work here in the study of A Course in Miracles in conjunction with our inner teacher, under our inner teacher's guidance, 100% under our inner teacher's guidance. So what you're forgiving right now is necessarily going to be, on the surface at least, different from what someone else is forgiving. And what you say one moment when you're forgiving yourself for spilling coffee on your white pants is going to be different from when you're forgiving a historical dictator or your boss or someone who has done not so nice things to you in this lifetime. Whatever it is, it's going to appear to be different every time. Emphasis on appear. That is the outward form. That's the form. This course focuses on the content, on the essence. The essence of forgiveness is one and the same, no matter what you or someone else appears to be forgiving. This course is done at the level of the content, at the level of mind, the cause. The physical body is an effect. If you've never heard that, let's repeat that. Mind is the cause. The physical body is an effect. This whole course is a course in mind training. This is how we awaken. And it's okay if you don't believe this pixelated image on your screen, which is what you're looking at, by the way. It's an assemblage of dots. When something lands for you, that is your inner teacher. And it would be very kind of you indeed to pay attention and to do as suggested. So this is well, a short-ish commentary on the importance of the present moment. This, of course, can and often does generate questions along the way. So if you've got them, please feel welcome to leave them here. I'll be happy to answer them. And even if you just wish to stop in and say hello, please do so. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And also, we'd love to have you subscribe. The subscription arrow is right here. That's the arrow in the corner of your screen. When you click and hover over that, you'll be prompted to subscribe and join us. So please do that. What happens is there are several videos that appear each week. We're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, and frequently we pause to talk about topics just such as this that apply to not only the study and practice of this course, but also the study and practice of spirituality in general. This is just one door. A Course in Miracles is one of many doors, one of many ways you can lead yourself home, in a manner of speaking. And I say that because you've never left. If you have questions about that, ask. I'll tell you about that. And if you have suggestions for a particular topic that you would like to see me cover, I'd love to hear those too. We've had a number of those recently, and they've led to some very, very excellent conversations. So if you've got those, please feel welcome to leave them here. Several videos appear each week. We're going through the text right now. My wife, Cindy, and I are traveling. And when we do that, I often pre-record videos. This is one of those that I'm dropping while we're in the Caribbean. So I thank you all for joining me, and especially for your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice. I just can't say that enough. No teacher could ever say that enough. That is the single most important offering you could ever make anyone, anytime, anywhere. There's no close second at all. So please continue to practice. And let me know if you have questions. I'll talk to you soon.